So do I look at you?
I don't know if I should repeat that or not. So could you tell us a bit about your background?
When I was studying emerging technologies and design, I got to learn a lot about new technologies and emerging technologies, as well as actually looking at the older materials and technologies in a different way. That was when I started studying 3D printing a bit, and later on with my colleagues we built actually a 3D printer by ourselves. It was a junction where we wanted to decide whether we want to be machine makers or we want to be designers. I personally decided that I want to make a difference in people's lives through designing intelligent objects rather than making the machines, and I decided to stick to my own expertise. The collaboration with Morgan came about, I think I had a presentation in Somerset House, and one of the Morgan's team at the time, I think, was present in the presentation. And Katerina was kind enough after that presentation to invite me to have a chat, and we both found the opportunity exciting, and we started working together. The aim for the project was to find links between traditional craftsmanship and a meaningful connection to the emerging possibilities. Because a lot of the news that we hear these days is about only the future possibilities, which is really not the way I think about it. I think the new possibilities, as they're called, there are only one possibilities on top of what we already have. And we're really able to push the existing boundaries forward if we manage to understand what was happening before that as well, and merge them together, understand them properly, and try to make a little bit of a difference with what we design. It was quite exciting for me to come into a place that has such a rich background and heritage, more than 20 years. So I had the opportunity to learn about that, and while using an innovative tool to design, I could also look back and see how I'm able to preserve that. This is my first chair. This is my first chair, which I find it well exciting. Chair is a challenging object because it has to deal with lots and lots of different criteria. It has to be functional, it has to be beautiful. It's so limiting in some senses, and at the same time it's so fascinating. I think it's the mission that is important, not the scale. As long as with what we do we are able to make a tiny bit of a difference, bring aesthetic and functionality into people's lives, I think we're on the right track. The scale comes next. Yeah, the industry, even though 3D printing industry is more than 20 years old, but it's still on an industrial scale of usage, it's still a young industry. We get surprises all the time. Despite of the fact that we think everything is possible, every industry has its own limitations, and we have to understand them. And through different opportunities and different projects, we get to know more about it. And in this particular project, we got a lot of surprises, and we managed to tackle them, and we managed to synchronize let's say the traditional craftsmanship with what we were creating, what we were 3D printing together to come up with a piece that we were quite happy with. I think if I did this again, I would do the same thing. If I would do this project again, I would do the same thing. But when let's say, the circumstances change, the brief change, naturally it leads to a different, entirely different design in a way, I think. Because the way at least I look at design is not a pre-assumed object, it's also discovery along the way. I use algorithms because I believe in systematic creativity, a creativity that never runs off, because it looks at the traces and tries to go one step forward. In terms of what we've achieved here, I think we've taken, at least the way I look at it now, we've taken the right step, and we try to understand what is possible through 3D printing and not just use the technology for the sake of using it, but really try to understand it and use it for the right reasons.